All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Blackburn News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? All right. Yesterday was Labor Day. Sorry, there was no show. When I signed off on Friday, I said I'll be back Monday. But not realizing, of course, that yesterday was Labor Day. And I actually meant to give you all a heads up, but it was just that kind of day. So I went out and had some fun with my daughter. That's what we did. And so I did deserve a break. I worked every single day last week. I worked a 7-day week. And this week is going to be a 6-day week. So my 1 day off in 2 weeks was yesterday. There you go. Anyways, glad you're all here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. You're the best. Hold on 1 second. Need to check something. Okay. All right. So, did y'all have a good Labor Day? Did people do good fun things? Osama's here. And a bunch of people on Rockfin, which is cool. What's up, Rockfinners? I don't know what happened to the YouTube people. I know I set up the show kind of late, so not everybody gets the YouTube notifications. And it's all good. Everybody's on Rockfin today, I guess. Old as dirt. Joseph, what's up? What's stating that removing dams is not beneficial? You sent me a link. Hold on. This is from John Stossel. Oh no. 6 hours ago. Environmentalist calls to tear down dams won't save salmon. but will waste your money. Oh, nice. John Stossel doing some propaganda for the corporations. Are we all clear? Yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched it either, and I'd call bullshit. Are we all clear that we're run by a bunch of thieves, by a bunch of thieving? Like, are we clear that the people that run the show are no? They do not have our best interests in mind. There might be a few examples out there. Um, Probably not people who are way high up on the food chain. You know, there might be some mids out there. There might be some mid-level. Um, I don't know what. Um, Business entities out there that might be doing things that are beneficial and helpful. Like, I don't doubt that there are good people out there trying to do good things. I'm just saying, for the most part, as far as the corporations go, as far as anybody who's owned by a BlackRock entity, or anybody who has the propensity to possibly be influenced by APAC, or all kinds of, there are very powerful controlling entities out there, obviously, and they probably most of them are somehow tied to a BlackRock, State Street, military industrial corporation, something something something, right? But like, but are we clear that all of these people are have the opposite of your best interests in mind, that they're ready to they don't care about saving the planet, they're ready to take down the planet, they're ready to continue the destruction because they need to have your profits flowing in 24/7. They need you to believe in the bullshit for as long as possible until they crash everything, put everybody out of their homes, buy everything up, and then start the cycle all over again. That's the intention. These people are evil. They're horrific. All of this rant is coming from a headline that I didn't even watch the video from, but I'm riffing here, okay? But thanks for the link, Joseph. I'll watch it. John Stossel. Interestingly enough, I'm going to play a clip at the end of the show with RFK and John Stossel. RFK Jr. and John Stossel. And RFK says some very controversial things, and I probably won't even play it on YouTube. Are none of the YouTube people here, or is YouTube telling me that nobody's here? I can't really tell. It's cool. I've been getting more. So for some reason, Twitter is allowing me to get followers these days, and it's wild. It's amazing. YouTube, not so much. YouTube is, I've been kind of letting it fly a little bit on YouTube, and they're rewarding me with taking away followers and telling me that nobody's watching the show. So, or maybe I've just pissed everybody off on YouTube. If I did, I don't care, because I'm going to be me, and I'm going to say the things I want to say. And so I'm going to say the things I want to say. I'm going to say the things I think. I'm not going to, if you guys want, just, who knows? I can't even tell. I can't tell. I think the point of the censorship on YouTube is to tell me that nobody's watching, and that's really effective. But there's plenty of people on Rockfin coming in, so that's cool. Oh, or has everybody just had a long weekend? I don't know. Who knows? I'm still broadcasting. Yesterday was a Labor Day. Okay. So, yeah. I don't know. It's just a little disconcerting. It's all good. But Oh, now only 2. That's good. YouTube is just is rocking and rolling here. It's great. Who knows? Who cares? I'm still, I'm sure people will see the show. And if everybody's just, if the reality is that everybody's offended by me, well, all good. Find somebody else to watch. I don't care. I'll be here for the people that want to watch the show. And if people are offended, I'm sorry if I offended you, but que sera, sera. I don't know. If you're not offended, I think you're not alive. It's just still funny to me that people unfollow or get, it's just like, I don't agree with everything everybody has to say, and people often disappoint me. In fact, I don't think I don't know, that's just life, kiddo. Let's get a freaking helmet. is the joke. The joke is life sucks, get a freaking helmet. But people are not going to be your favorite all the time. People are not going to do everything perfectly. I think we all know that. Anyways, let's not get off into the weeds right at the beginning of the show. It's, hope you guys enjoyed your Labor Day. It's Tuesday, September 3rd already, for crying out loud. You know what? I feel you, contemplative, pragmatist. I have a hard time keeping up myself. I have a hard time keeping up with all the things. In fact, like, my ability to pay attention to watch, people send me videos all day long, and I appreciate. I mean, I try to watch what I can watch. I try to watch the videos I can watch and take in the information I can take in. But I have a limited amount of time to take in information. So, and my podcast watching or listening has dwindled way down from what it used to be. I just don't have the time to do it because I'm working on so many things all day long. So it's hard to even keep up with the news. It's hard to keep up with what's going on, and here I am doing a new show, but I really try. Yeah, well, I didn't post the show more than an hour before the airtime, so that's my fault. It's my fault, Malcolm. Anyways, we're live on Rockfin, Rumble, YouTube. Do appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Everyone who is here. Y'all are great. Everybody's talking about the cooler weather, but the hot weather is coming here, or is here. This week is shaping up to be really brutal. 95 today, tomorrow 99, Thursday 103, Friday 106, Saturday 101, Sunday 97, Monday 93, Tuesday 94, and then so we have like a full 8 days of just increasingly brutal heat here, which I'm not looking forward to, because I'm trying to get things done, and it's really hard to be productive when it's that hot. It is really hard. It's just swimming through molasses. The days are just swimming through molasses, and so not necessarily happy about that. I was kind of looking forward to the cooler weather so that I could actually like function, but again, c'est la vie. Anyways, word to your mother's uncle. Or something like that. What is that from? Is that Vanilla Ice? I can't remember where that's from. Old as Dirt says, yes, the idea of working, keep them busy so they have even less time to figure out what's really going on. Oh, and that's a really big topic of discuss. I mean, that's a big subject to dive into. Huge subject because that's been kind of a long-term goal or plan of intention from the people that run the show, the good people, that the evil corrupt lizards that run the show. That's been the intention, right? So many decades ago we had something like a socialist democratic society where we had people had unions, and one person could support a whole family and buy a house with the salary they made from their one job. And kids and people had like free time to look at the world and look at themselves and look at their place in the world and look at how the world was run, and look closely at the people in power and decide that those people in power don't have their best interests in mind, right? We had those a massive kind of awakening and shift in society in the from maybe the 30s through the 70s, where people really started to get educated on what was going on in the world, and people had free time to read and go to college, and college was free, right? And ever since then, so the powers that be obviously connected the dots. They were like, hey, these people have money and free time, and they're kind of waking up and they're kind of pushing back on us. We don't like that. What are we going to do? We're gonna strip these people of their ability to unionize. We're going to strip the ability for people to make a living wage with one job. We're going to start charging you hand over fist for your education, and we're going to get you deep in debt. We're going to offer you these loans that will keep you in a debt trap for your entire life. we're going to because of the lack of the unionized or fair labor practices, we're going to force people to work 2-3 jobs to keep themselves alive, et cetera, right? We're going to promise you more and give you less. that's been the modus operandi for the last several decades, and it's working. Oh, on top of that, add on top of that layer this whole like push from people that like the government is bad and they shouldn't give you, they can't give you anything, they shouldn't give you anything, you should never trust them, you should never expect anything from them, and you should never push back on them, and you should never, right, you should just stay home and just make money. If you're feeling any pain, you should just make more money. It's your fault for not being smart enough and good enough and working hard enough to, right, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, that's a real thing. Okay, 20 minutes into the show, we should probably talk about something that's happening. But what I just described is happening. So sometimes, well, okay, I wanted to start off the show with sometimes there's good news. But interestingly enough, right, Joseph posted the link about how these crazy environmentalists who want to knock out the dams, or they don't know what they're talking about. They're children. We're the adults and they're the children. No. You are the adults. You know what the right thing is. You know what the right thing to do is. The people that are running the show are psychotic, narcissistic, emotional 3-year-olds who think that the world is all about getting everything that you can get, and people are just objects to be moved around or sucked dry. Right? They have no empathy, no compassion. It's just a winner take all attitude. These are the people that run the show are not the adults in the room. They are the children in the room, and they should actually be put on timeout. They should be locked away and put on timeout. They should be, called out for what they are, taken, have their power and their position stripped of them. They should be put, and if they can't get the message, then they should be put somewhere so that they don't harm people anymore. Anyways, the Klamath River flows free after the last dams come down. This is great. This is wonderful. This is why, when they always talk about one of the largest sources of renewable power, when they always talk about renewables, one of the largest sources in every count is hydropower. And hydropower is not a renewable source of energy, people. It is not. Hydropower is destructive to the ecosystem. Usually involves a lot of concrete. It is not a renewable energy source. Almost all the things they tell you are renewable energy sources are not renewable. They're just shifting the conversation so that they, get people on this hamster wheel of, oh, well, yeah. Renewables, green energy, people. Come on. Vote Democrat because they care about the environment. They don't. They don't. They do not. And no, they are not better than the Republicans. They're not better. They are the same. They are just as bad, if not worse, because they're lying to you. They're telling you they care, and you vote for them, and then they just do the things anyways. At least you know where you stand with the Republicans, that they don't give a flying F. And you can treat them accordingly, right? Oh, you don't give a flying F? Okay, well then F you. You don't get my support. Yeah, you're a raging sociopath who doesn't care about people. All right, well, I see you, and I will treat you accordingly. Which is, I ain't touching you with an 11-foot pole. That's a Felix the Cat quote. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. An 11-foot pole, maybe. All right. The last of the 4 dams that nearly destroyed salmon populations on the Klamath River at the California-Oregon. Oh, this is from Osama, by the way. Populations on the Klamath River at the California-Oregon border was demolished last week, marking a significant victory for tribes and environmentalists who fought for decades to restore the river. You see how all of this is connected, y'all? I'm just wanted to point that out. Brooke Thompson was 7 years old when her world turned upside down. Thompson, who is now 28 and a member of the Yurok tribe, had witnessed the 2002 fish kill on the Klamath River. It was devastating seeing thousands of dead bodies the same size as me in the river, Thompson said. Excuse me. That that horrific event spurred Thompson and many other Yurok, Karuk, Hoopa, and Klamath tribes people to lead a 2-decade campaign to save the Klamath River from death. You know how they did it? They organized. They got themselves together and organized. around a goal, a common goal. Their solution: remove 4 dams that impeded the free flow of the river and had bred deadly algae that led to the 2002 fish die-off. On Tuesday, the final impediment was removed and the Klamath was again a free-flowing river. The coffer dams, which had diverted water from the last 2 outdated hydroelectric dams undergoing demolition, were breached, allowing the river to reclaim its ancient course and reopen up to 400 miles of salmon spawning and nursery habitats. River and salmon protectors cheered and cried tears of joy as the coffer dams at Iron Gate and Copco were broken open and the waters flowed down the river's ancient channel. This is an awesome story, by the way. It's the beginning of the end of more than 20-year battle to remove the dams and restore the river during the nation's largest ever dam removal project. By the way, climate change is going to remove all these dams anyways. How many dams have been breached this year? How many dams have failed? Think about China. There were a few in the U.S. that failed. They're all going to fail anyways, or they're going to dry up. The water that they hold back will dry up. So it's not, might as well just take them out. Just start now. Same with the nuclear power plants. Just start now. Anyways, the dams, coupled with fire suppression, over-industrialization of the forest, and basin replumbing, all took their toll on the river. People deprived of their ancestral ways and healthy foods wallowed in despair. Suicide rates spiked, as did domestic violence, drug and alcohol abuse, and other such ailments. Diabetes and other diseases related to poor nutrition ran rampant in tribal communities. Thompson said several of her friends perished before the age of 30. Klamath Tribe's member Jeff Mitchell, who served his tribe in various capacities for over 50 years, said his people had been raising awareness of the issue for nearly 2 decades before that. The dams completely wiped out our fisheries and ruined the water quality. So from 2002, the Undam the Klamath campaign was formed to remove the dams and restore the salmon. They organized. The tribe's environmentalists and their allies angrily filled legislative chambers, corporate headquarters, and agency offices to demand the dams be removed. But maybe John Stossel will liken them to Nazis, or maybe this is racist. I don't know. It'll be something, right? The QAnon Nazi, probably racist people who, they're tribes people. Okay. Misinformed by the racist. They're somebody's been telling them the wrong things. No, I think they lived it. They lived in the issue. They lived in the calamity. They saw how it was affecting them and then organized to change it. The tribe's environmentalists and their allies angrily filled legislative chambers, corporate headquarters, and agency offices to demand the dams be removed. They demanded the dams be removed. They pressured the government to do this. And they won. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission issued the final approval for the removal of the lower 4 Klamath River dams in November 2023, and the removal started shortly after. Two other dams upriver from the four that were removed, the Link River Dam and the Keno Dam, have fish ladders installed. The removal of the final cofferdams means the salmon and other migratory fish now have an unimpeded aquatic highway to Upper Klamath Lake and the Sprague and Williamson rivers. Final sentence of this article is everything is interconnected. Gene says here an indigenous group took the Costa Rica government to international court to stop a dam on their land, and they won as well. Awesome. Cool. Excellent. It's good news. It's good news. It's good to see that people can win once in a while. But you're not going to win by like hanging out somewhere. You actually got to do something. But beautiful. Excuse me. I'm interested in playing this video almost just to see what I don't know. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see what Bunk Boy has to say.
And fossil fuels across the globe.
Instead of using fossil fuels, we're told we should use what they call clean energy. Wind, solar, and hydropower. Hydro is the most reliable because unlike wind and solar, water power is steady. But now, politicians want to destroy dams and their hydropower.
The federal government recommending swift action on the lower Snake River dams.
Removing 4 dams.
We need to breach those dams, and we need to do it now. Now's the time. Our fish are on the line.
Activists claim the dams threaten the Snake River. They call it
the most endangered river in this country
because they say the dams are
decimating the salmon population.
It's true that pregnant fish need to swim upriver to have their babies. And now there are dams in the way. But still, today, most fish pass. How?
Well, there are ladders on the dams that allow passage.
Todd Myers of the Washington Policy Center has worked for decades on salmon recovery. Recovery includes
new innovative surface passage structures for fish
and fish ladders that help fish get past the dams.
We have made so much progress that we can have salmon recovery and the electricity it provides.
But using the word recover makes it sound like there was this horrible decimation.
There was.
When dams were first built, without the innovations that keep fish away from the turbines,
Wait a minute.
Lots of salmon were killed.
Did you
but
catch that?
Still keep fish away from the turbine.
There was.
When dams were first built.
That was like the most, what was that? What's that called? Duper's Delight? Looked like some duping delight right there. There was. But we fixed it. Anyways, okay, you see where they're going with this. Well, they don't know what they're talking about. We need this energy. We need it. No, we don't. No, we don't. We need a whole lot less energy. That's what we need. The planet is not like, hey guys, you guys need this energy. What are you doing? I'm giving you all the material here to build all these dams, and you guys just won't even take the opportunity. And the Bassomatic. Yes, I do remember that. That's a good one. That is a good one. Anyways, again, Dams are not renewable energy. Sorry to tell you that. That's just something they're saying. They just slap the renewable energy sticker on the dams. Go green. You pass a tractor trailer on the highway and it says green energy. You're like, that's not green energy. There's nothing green about this. Nothing at all. Have some more of his videos on the dispute. Yeah. Yeah, that's what that's basically what they've done is slap the green, going green on a hydroelectric dam. Yeah, it's renewable energy. It is not renewable energy. No, sir. What's happened in the world of floods? Who's getting whacked? I don't know. Pick a place, pick a day, pick a time. This is in Mexico. Mexico also getting super whacked this year from all these floods. The kid is screaming.
Se cayeron, no mames. Se le está yendo el carro.
Also, Saudi Arabia again they're getting whacked again. They seem to have gotten a lot of extreme flooding, hail, etc. this year. Mecca. This is in Mecca, but it seems like this is for at least the last 4 weeks. I see daily pictures of Saudi Arabia getting flooded out. And if you think that you're going to save yourself from climate change, well, these people all have like multiple homes probably, so they're not really, they have the money to leave, or they probably have another home somewhere, or they probably have, places to go. But this isn't a very wealthy community in Los Angeles, Palos Verdes. Power cut to 245 homes in coastal California community where landslides are worsening. And this is from erosion, rains, etc. The land is moving. Land movement in Rancho Palos Verdes, Portuguese Bend neighborhood has created such a dangerous situation that a utility provider said it needed to act immediately. That number actually of homes that got their power cut has gone up since I opened this. Since I opened this article a few hours ago. In a coastal Southern California city where multi-million-dollar estates teeter above the Pacific Ocean, power remained intentionally severed Tuesday as worsening landslides have triggered evacuation warnings and a gas service shutoff. Utility provider Southern California Edison on Monday evening cut electricity to another 105 homes in the section of Rancho Palos Verdes, known as Seaview, for varying lengths of time. Some go without service for as few as 24 hours or as long as indefinitely. There's 140 homes that have been without power since Sunday. A power line has fallen in Portuguese Bend neighborhood last week, sparking a small fire. The power shutoff led city officials to prompt residents in affected areas to begin evacuation plans. An emergency assistance center was open to help with charging cell phones and relocation and mental health support. As of Monday morning, evacuations were not mandatory, but city officials asked affected residents who choose to remain in their homes to limit their use of water and plumbing. The land in Rancho Palos Verdes, situated atop the bluffs of the Palos Verdes Peninsula and home to prime real estate, including the Trump National Golf Club, Los Angeles, has been shifting since the 1950s. But geologists say the land is moving at more than a foot a week in some areas. And an increase in heavy rains over the past 2 years has only exacerbated the problem with California's coast, with water saturating the hillsides. Climate change is also intensifying the rates of rainfall throughout the country. Anyways, this affects everyone, right? You won't be spared if you're wealthy from some of the effects of climate change. You'll be insulated by the fact that you can leave, move, go to your other cottage somewhere. Yeah. Oh, thanks for the tip, Tor on Rockfin. Gave me a very generous tip. Thanks, man. Hello to you. And thank you. Yeah, Denver. I know. I want to talk about that too. I wish I could do like a 3-hour show. I just don't have that kind of capacity. We could talk about all the things. It's interesting to me. I don't know if I want to talk about this on YouTube, but I'll read your comment, which is more institutional C-19 fraud. I swear they pump these out every day. Right. The studies, I'm seeing a lot of it on Twitter, which angers me and frustrates me that people are, there's a lot of like, oh my God, there's, more COVID cases than ever before. I'm like, all right, you guys didn't get the memo or the message. Anyways, and I see this kind of stuff being like reposted by, very smart people that I rock with. I like most of their ideas. But I'm like, okay, let's not do that. Don't give them more fuel. I mean, if you've been paying attention, I don't know if I want to, again, maybe we'll jump off of YouTube for a couple minutes at the end here, because I want to play something for you, something else for you. Well, quickly. Well, Arctic. Let's hit these subjects here quickly, or maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow. The COVID thing, the new COVID thing. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I don't know. Arctic temperatures look like something that shouldn't be physically possible as global climate enters a catastrophic phase. This is from Ben C. Yeah, it should be. Steph, if only I mean, there might be a way. I don't know. Who knows? The cryosphere is collapsing as we head for a cataclysmic 1.92 C of global warming by 2030, 2045. Well, yeah. And this is the graph. I've seen this graph going around. August will be the warmest month ever recorded in Longyearbyen, Svalbard. reaching an average temperature of 11 C. This surpasses even July's record by a large margin. While July is historically the warmest month, uncharted territory. So this is, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is Svalbard. And this is where the temperature's at. Huge spike. Before 2020, a monthly average temperature of 9C was never recorded on Svalbard. Before last year, an average temperature of 10C was unheard of. This year, August may breach 11C. June also broke its monthly record. Global warming is accelerating. Ben C says, overthrow this extinction economy now to protect species and everyone else while it's too late. Sure. And then Dan Vanderbroek, in terms of standard deviations, this is the same graph, computed relative to the 1900 to 2000 baseline. Svalbard's August temperature looks like this. And in terms of standard deviations, it shows that it's statistically impossible. Global climate system is in catastrophic collapse. This is a more likely scenario up here. They're saying by 2100, but you know, we don't even know where this, how fast this is going to change. We have no idea. We have no idea. 2100 might be a reprieve. Okay. Brazil is trying to ban X or Twitter. And people are concerned about that because it sets a precedent. Just like the UK, you know, arresting people for posts. Even though, you know, yeah, you might be like, oh yeah, these people are the bad people. That, you know, of course, if you get the right conditions for appealing to people, you know, like, oh, these are the racist people are posting things and we don't, you know, yeah, I don't like that. You may not like that, but it's the right. And if you're like, oh yeah, shut those racists up, go ahead, arrest them for their social media posts. Well, then you set a precedence for arresting anybody for anything, which is, you know, not great. So be very careful, you know, to not let your disgust or your hatred spin out of control to the point where you're like agreeing to anything because you're, oh yeah, no, they, you know. Anyways, this is from Unity Ticket 2024, which is hilarious. Kamala endorses Brazil's decision to ban X. She believes in government oversight and federal regulation of social media, aka censorship, free speech, no more under her reign. I mean, they're also doing this, you know, with the language of, you know, the anti-vax stuff, right? This is also concerning. Whether you agree or disagree, again, it's the right to say it and have information flow freely, and to, you know, you can disagree, not look at it, close it, close the app. I don't know what you want to do. You know, hey, if you want to unfollow, block, you know, blah blah blah, you can do all those things. You don't have to. But taking somebody down or censoring somebody or limiting their reach or whatever it might be, that's the point at which it stops being free speech and starts being censorship. And that's something that you should not ever support, right? Why? Because what if you have something to say that you really want people to hear and you think is important, and they're like, no, you can't say that. And then you'll be like, oh my God, these fascist people at the Twitter or at the Facebook or the Instagram, these fascists, Be like, no, you were the fascist because you were like, shut these people up that I don't like. And then they shut you up. And then you're like, oh, oh, darn it. Oh, it's too late. Shoot. You know? Kamala endorses Brazil's decision to ban X. State media control. Would America look like? What would America look like under Harris administration? Well, we already know that the Biden administration actually was pressuring, but there was a court case in Missouri, right, where they told the Biden administration cease and desist from pressuring social media sites to take down content. Yes, YouTube does it all the time. That's right. The truth. That's the truth. The truth.
He has lost his privileges, and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that
why has he lost his privilege? Why? What's the reason?
You have one rule for Facebook, and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation, and that has to stop.
That has to stop.
He has lost.
We need oversight. Oh my God. Oh, regulation. We need it. We need it now. What is she? It's yeah. Even what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. The interviewer is like, well, but anyways, yeah, Zuckerberg just said exactly. She's talking about Facebook. She's like, well, Zuckerberg just said, I was pressured by the Biden administration to take down posts. And I'll try not to do it again, is what he said, basically. Anyways. Yeah. Yes, that's great. That's a great point. They don't regulate lithium mining, right? Got a couple more things to cover, but real quick, guys, if you want to support this channel, and I know you do, because you like this channel coming to you for free 99 Monday through Friday, and once in a while I get up on the weekends and do a book reading or something. But if you like this content, and you like being here, and you like hanging out here, and you like this being here every day, and you want this to continue being here every day, and you just like everything about what's going on here at Black Bear News, and you want to support it, I could use your support. There are lots of ways to do it. Financially, there are links in the description box of every platform that I'm on. All the usuals are there. Zelle, Cash App, Coffees, PayPal, Venmo. A lot of you already support the show. Oh, there's also Patreon, and you could Super Ray, which Tor did. You can Super Chat, all those things. So a lot of you support the show already, and you know who you are, and I thank you. From Glenn Greenwald. Countries in the democratic world are going to extraordinary lengths to eliminate freedom and privacy on the internet. Brazil's repressive censorship judge, Alexandria, I don't know how you say that, Alexandria de Moraes, froze Starlink's financial assets. What? Froze Starlink's financial assets and has threatened to ban X in the country because the platform refused to carry out his censorship orders. I'm not going to play this whole thing. It's long.
Here is from Globo, the Global magazine as well. And this is actually quite unbelievable. We have there the headline in Portuguese. So I'll just translate that for you, which is, as a result of a lack of representation in Brazil, the Supreme Court has blocked the financial resources of Starlink, a completely separate company in which Elon Musk is involved. There's no ruling that Starlink has done anything wrong. In fact, Starlink provides free internet to many of the poorest areas in Brazil. In 2022, Elon Musk was awarded all kinds of official commendations from Brazilian authorities for his benevolent act of providing free internet connection to many of the poorest areas in Brazil that the government hasn't been able to provide on their own. And yet somehow this judge, even though there's no finding that Starlink itself did anything wrong, has blocked the bank accounts of Starlink in Brazil in order to punish X. The article says, quote, this is from Globo, after X failed to submit legal representatives, FTF Minister Alexandre de Moraes blocked the financial accounts of Starlink Holding. Last week, Moraes claimed the existence of a, quote, de facto economic group under Musk's command, and on August 18th, ordered to block all of their Brazilian financial assets in order to guarantee payment of fines applied by Brazilian courts against X. Another of Elon Musk's company in the country, besides X, is Starlink, which operates in Brazil, selling satellite internet services mainly in the North region. All Starlink staff in Brazil has already been notified in order to respond for amounts to Brazilian courts owed to Brazilian courts by X. And then we have the Brazilian text here. Last week, Moraes considered the existence of a, quote, oh, this was what I just read you that had already been translated. So I want you to see how extreme this is, because it is genuinely remarkable the lengths to which not just Brazil, but countries throughout the democratic world are now willing to go to prevent the internet from being a free exchange of ideas where human beings can organize freely and privately, because they recognize that is the one threat to establishment power and to status quo ruling class prerogatives. I've been talking about this for a long time.
Yep. And that's the whole point. That's the game. That's the 3-card Monty. That's what they're doing to you. Oh, by the way, I forgot to thank, there's a couple of people that subscribe to me on the Buy Me a Coffee. They do like a monthly subscription, and I don't know who this is from, but thank you, whoever is subscribing. I got a subscription payment from Stripe, from Buy Me a Coffee, so thank you. I don't know. I don't know who that is. I'm not logged into my coffees right now to see who did that. Got another tip from Tor on Rockfin. Thank you, Tor. I appreciate you. You rock, sir. But this is a cause for concern, right? There is a concerted effort to ramp up censorship for all kinds of reasons. And it's concerning because it may be in another country, or maybe for reasons that, you certainly don't agree with, but eventually that wrecking ball is going to swing around and hit you. Eventually that thing is going to come to where you are and suddenly affect you in a way that you don't want to be affected. Like if you were trying to, let's say, organize the shutting down of a pipeline, or let's say you were trying to organize, the deconstruction of a dam, or let's say you were trying to organize for unionizing at your job, or let's say you're trying to, whatever it might be. All of a sudden you might find yourself on the wrong side of the social media gods. And then that will certainly not be a good day for you. And that's why I'm covering this, because I believe in your right to say whatever you want to say, even if I don't agree with you. That's called free speech. Even if I think what you're saying is disgusting, that's called free speech. Even if I think you're an asshole, that's called free speech. At the point where you break the law and hurt somebody, okay, that's a different thing. That's called breaking the law. But saying whatever you want to say, even if it's disgusting, is called free speech. That's not breaking a law. That's called free speech. Social media giant X said on Thursday it expects Brazil's top court to order it to shut down as a pitched legal battle plays out over compliance with local laws and owner Elon Musk's insistence that the platform is being punished for resisting censorship. You know, the idea that Elon Musk is a free speech savior is totally another rabbit hole to go down. So I'm not even going to really address that right now. X said it expected Supreme Court Judge Alejandro de Moraes to order the shutdown soon after a court-imposed deadline for the company to identify a legal representative in Brazil passed on Thursday evening. Just before midnight, X was still working normally in the country. Early on Thursday, the Supreme Court blocked the local bank accounts of billionaire Musk's Starlink satellite internet firm, while the underlying feud over X put it on the brink of being shuttered in one of the top markets. Two firms are part of Musk's sprawling business empire, which also includes rocket company SpaceX and electric car giant Tesla. Anyways, I mean, this is kind of also what was going on with TikTok a few months ago. We've got to shut it down for your safety, folks. But really, what people pointed out was that there was a lot of information about, specifically about a conflict in another part of the planet that people were upset about. A lot of conversation was going on over there that was highlighting, what was happening. And a lot of people pointed out that, maybe the powers that be didn't like that. And that's why they were going after TikTok. And I would say that makes sense. I mean, TikTok is also censorious. TikTok does. I've been censored on TikTok. Anytime I post something that's kind of touches a particular political subject that is verboten, my views suddenly go down to like, 3 or 4, right? Like, oh, I see. You didn't want anybody listening to this. Okay. Well, that was pretty quick. Right? They're all over it. Yeah, they censor on TikTok. You know what? What happened to the Internet Bill of Rights? That's what we need. We need an Internet Bill of Rights, as if we don't already have a Bill of Rights, and the Internet should actually operate on the already established Bill of Rights. Don't even really need an Internet Bill of Rights. But how about the idea that people should be free? The Internet should be an open resource for people, and an open space where all kinds of conversations can be had. Even if you don't like them, you could leave the conversation. What did I see? I saw I'm going to end it with this if I can find it. There was a New York Times article about, I think it said something like, the Constitution is sacred. Also, it's problematic or something like that. Like, okay. No, the Constitution is sacred. The end of the sentence. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. Here's what it is. The Constitution is sacred. Is it also dangerous? One of the biggest threats to America's politics might be the country's founding document. Get the entire F out of here. This is actually in the New York Times. It's a very long piece. Actually, so I'm just talking about the headline. I want to read this whole piece. And things have changed in this country since then, right? We have amendments and we have things that have as we have evolved, but I think the basic premises of the Constitution are pretty good, right? That all men are created equal. With when it was originally written, it didn't include all men. So they were like, hey, eventually people pointed out like it says all, which is the idea is correct, right? The original idea, correct, right? If you're not aligning with the actual idea, which is a good idea, kind of like free speech or equality, everyone is equal, everyone is judged on the merits of their character. I think MLK said that, right? That's a good idea. What you want to do is align with that idea, right? If you're out of alignment with that idea, well, then you want to point that out. Like, we're not judging people based on the merits of their character, or maybe we're judging them on other things. You want to get back to that. The problem is not, your interpretation. The problem is the alignment with the actual thing that's stated, right? So yes, all men were created equal. When this was written, they didn't include all men. Eventually people were like, hey, how about including all men and women? How about that? Okay, sounds good. Yes, let's do that. Yeah, anyways. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have to say. It is concerning. Just, be on the lookout for this kind of stuff. Be aware. Maybe, push back a little bit. If you're seeing, people saying, well, free speech is great, but these people are Nazis. Yeah, actually, free speech applies to Nazis too. Because you can say anybody's a Nazi, right? It's a thing on social media. Oh, you're a Nazi. Person could be just somebody you disagree with. You call them a Nazi. Well, and they're a Nazi, and so now they don't get free speech because they are disqualified because they're a Nazi. I called them that on Instagram. No, that's not how it works. Your opinion of somebody is not, does not define what they are allowed to do or not do. And, a false opinion or a false description of somebody obviously does not define what they are allowed to do legally, in the world. So just saying. Okay. All right, guys. I appreciate you. I'm going to see you tomorrow at the regular time of 11 a.m. Pacific. Black Bear News. We'll be back tomorrow. And we're going to talk about it. Thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. Let me make sure I don't have anybody else to thank. I did thank Tor. You got me twice on Rockfin today. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate you. I think that's it. Tell them to exactly Salt Lake. That's exactly it. Tell them to shut that. But that's the thing, though, and that's part of free speech, right? You can say that too. Right. You can say that too. All right. Thanks, guys. Until next time, peace.